Here's a segment from the latest edition of St. Charles Parish Today, a monthly local talk show.
When we hear about the American Red Cross, we often think of their logo splashed across a first responder's back in the aftermath of a disaster. But did you know they provide more than just emergency assistance for those in need? Here to talk to us today about what they offer in St. Charles Parish is Communications Specialist Joni Eaton. Thank you for coming on the show, Joni. Let's get into what some of the safety hazards that we as residents face this time of year.
Basically, a lot of it is fire damage. And we see a real influx or a increase in fires this time of year because people are used to having space heaters and they use it for clothes hangers during the summertime, or they pile clothes close to them. And so then when it's time to turn them on, they don't clear that area. And we find a lot of fires that way. Other ways is a lot of people will turn on their gas stove to warm the kitchen up rather than turn on the heater. It's a little less expensive and they think that works okay. But they don't realize sometimes there's grease buildup or there's pots or hand mitts or a hand towel that they use that's too close. And that also starts fires.
How does Red Cross respond and mediate these types of hazards?
Okay, hopefully the fire department gets a hold of us when they get called out. If that happens, we have what we call DAT teams, which is disaster action teams. They're trained teams to go out to help the clients right there while it's going on. Many times I arrive and the fire department is still working and I can work with the clients. And we've assist them with temporary housing for a couple nights until they can find a place to stay, and may assist with clothing, depends on what they have, if they've lost medications, things like that. And if the fire department doesn't get a hold of us, or maybe they have a fire and people are out of town and they don't even know they've had a fire. So when they notify the fire department, we get a call and then we go out and meet with the family, see how they're doing. After the night or so that they're in the hotel or with friends, we check back with them and see how they're doing and what other ways we can assist them with, because we have a really good partnerships here that can help us alleviate that.
And this kind of ties into my next question, but just I have a fact actually I'm going to read. In 2016, Red Cross provided fire assistance to more than 1,600 homes in Louisiana. And when we say assistance, it's all those things like you mentioned, correct?
Correct.
That would be, you said housing and clothing.
Yes, temporary housing, clothing. We do it as a need basis. So if they need clothing, yes. If they need a place to stay, yes, for a little while. And some of them need just somebody to talk to. So we do have social workers and counselors that can work with them in that way too. And it's basically trying to help them get through their recovery process. Start them thinking about, what do I need to look for and what do I need to, find for my children, if I have to move out of the area and find a new school and so on and so forth.
One of the things I didn't realize when I was researching Red Cross was that you guys actually help the armed forces with what you call Reconnection Workshops. Can you tell me a little bit about what those are?
Okay, in 2014, Red Cross has helped with the armed forces for a long time. They were a message center. In fact, my youngest daughter, my husband found out about her through the Red Cross. They notified him that he had a daughter. But they started a new program in 2014. And they figured that they would probably have about 100 people show up the first time. And it's to kind of reconnect them or have people there that can work with them to reconnect with their communities, their families, being overseas and working in a combat zone or just being out of the country and being deployed. It's that reconnecting with the family and the community and looking for a job and so on and so forth. Well, like I said, they figured that they were going to have 100, and the first session was 735.
Wow.
So we've really had to up things. And we just had the ribbon cutting for the new VA hospital last week.
So I know you guys are always looking for volunteers. It's kind of a big thing. If someone in St. Charles Parish wanted to volunteer with the Red Cross, where would they go and how would they start? And what types of things would they be doing?
Okay. Basically, the best way to do it is you go online. And it's redcross.org. /volunteer. And then that goes to our volunteer department. You fill out your name and address and phone number, how to contact you. They contact you and they kind of talk to you about things. If you want to answer telephones, if you want to do damage assessment, checking things out that way. There's so many ways to help with the Red Cross. It's not just going out in the cold and helping people, but you can do that as well, and we'll train you how to do that. But it could be, we're sending cards now to, signing cards to go to be sent to the servicemen overseas. So there's so many things that they could help do with the Red Cross. It's just whatever amount of time they want to give and what they want to do and what their interests are.
Well, awesome. I certainly learned a lot, especially with the space heater thing. I'm still thinking about that because I know people that do that. But I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
All right, thank you.
We'll have you back soon.
All right, great. Thank you.
Look for the entire episode at www.scptoday.com or on SCP TV.